There you go. There you go.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and start.
Quite a good
Yeah,
round.
the cats are kind of eluding
Ow.
arrest right now, so.
God, ow. That was fucking loud. Holy shit. Ooh. Anyway, yeah. There you go. Session 45. Mm-mm-mm.
Again.
Yeah, here we go again, I guess. Anyway,
So, what the fuck were you guys up to last week?
oh yes, that is a
Not much.
That is the
I
most.
took up most of the
Yeah, basically.
session.
Basically,
Unfortunately.
I got a simple question to ask of you, and then of course I can begin the session. So the same question goes for all of you. Is everybody ready to begin?
Circle isn't, but I assume we can start without him.
A second. Please work. Big of you. I need to change the box because they're doing too good. It's becoming more and more choppy as we come by. I think it's gonna be time soon to put it out of commission.
Take it out back.
Yeah, basically. So, with that being said and done, unless we left off, well, technically, you had a small chat when you returned after your kill. Return back to the elemental plane of air, from elemental plane of air back home. Got reunited with the Nathan, who has been away for a handful more hours after you return, somewhere out there, in rain and mud, seemingly. And of course, Britt, you were making breakfast, where you somehow, some way, got an attention of a red kid by the name of Kenneth that has been stealing your omelets by the fives. And when you caught him, he gave you a quick TLDR of what he is. He's basically here to kill all of you. But because of his semi-demonic nature, he doesn't really care much. Because of your divine cooking, he also offers, if you need someone gone, could be, someone to be swimming with the fishes, if to be Eugene.
I'm sorry, you hired a Fey demonic assassin with an omelet.
He was a goddamn good.
I rolled a 40 and I forgot to add my tool for efficiency, which is 6.
And so basic TLDR. Yeah, that. And then one question remained, which Aris brought up. You killed a creature from the elemental plane of air. That was a hindrance, but many more still remain, as you will essentially kill people, create vacuums, and potentially the demonic forces will start infighting. And Britt, as the leader, technically, was given a choice. Which one should you pursue next? Out of multiple choices, he chose the elemental plane of Earth. And then Karas announced very simply and plainly that you have 3 days to do whatever you want before associate will come and essentially bring you where you need to go. Oh yeah, where is Dagger?
That is a very good question. I'll spam him.
So,
He's been away for so long.
Sorry, I just had a vision of like full on Phineas and Ferb. Where's Dagger? And then it just shows him sneaking in the back, heading towards his like government job.
yeah. So,
Thank
With that
you.
being said, you technically have 3 days what you want to do. Also, you should look upon the list because now you also, because of Karos' new enhanced ability, new acquired power, you can do 2 tasks at once. So give her a pick, give a choose.
Tasks at once.
Yes, he's a very good lad now. So yeah.
I really should save this list somewhere in my bookmarks.
Yes, you should.
Cars offerings. There it is.
So, with that being said and done, what would anybody like to do? You have 3 days to do what you wish. No interruption.
Brit has managed previously to get a magic item from somewhere, right? Like, Brit bought a magic item somewhere.
Yes, from Olash.
Was that communicated in any way, or did Brit just at some point show up with magic boots?
Technically, when you were still, when you went out for your druidic journey, get the good berries. Technically, in that period of time, Brit actually also acquired himself some boots. It technically happened at the same time.
I would be approaching you in that case then at some point during this 3-day period, ideally early into it. If we're supposed to be visiting the plane of Earth next, I think some preparation should be in order. Would you mind telling me where you got those from? And I'm like hinting towards her boots.
Oh. These... the ones of haste? Lash.
Anyone in particular? Anyone I should be looking for? I'm considering trying to get something to help us actually move down there. I don't intend on bringing a shovel. And just listening to the caverns to get us where we want to go sounds a bit inefficient. And quite dangerous as well.
What? Well, I'm sorry. I'm confused. What's going on with that? Why do we need anything to help us let us move around? What is the the elemental plane of Earth like?
This is what I intend or expect Nathan to have read. Araxis, it's up to you to
Roll
decide
me a
whether that's
history
actually
check.
true.
Roll me
Okay.
Technically, everybody can roll a history
shall.
check.
Oh shit.
Okay. Anybody else?
That's nice. Nathan is horribly informed.
Somebody roll with advantage. I don't care.
Okay.
All right.
It's not Nathan. Because he only has an advantage.
I rolled with advantage and it certainly didn't help.
Fixed.
Nice. Brett?
We do not know where we're going.
Okay. So for Chadwick and Circle for fair, it's all like, Earth plane. What does it mean? Earth. Right? For Nathan and Britt, it's basically the same assumption from what you've heard. Elemental plane of Earth is probably the widest and the biggest, the most versatile of the plains, because you can go from rocky ravines and plateaus to occasionally even like sections of forests, primordial forests, in fact, and it houses the most diverse variety of earth elementals. Some could consider them even primordial beasts. About any specific details on hierarchy, the way of life, you have really no clue. Uh, Albeit, if Nathan, you're what's it called? If you're troubled about that, there's a chance that you're just gonna free fall and just fall to your death.
Exactly the opposite, in fact.
Oh.
That we, you know when you spawn in the Nether in Minecraft and you're like in this tiny cave in the middle of fuck knows where and have to dig like a tunnel for a kilometer before you get anywhere.
That could be the very much case, in fact. Albeit, seeing as you're gonna go there with a purpose, you don't really hope that somebody's just gonna dump you in the cave. But hey, you never know. 50-50.
Considering
My
our
task is to
current
be
track
prepared.
record- considering our current track record with it, it's probably best to be prepared.
Read.
So, in that sense,
I can
in
show
case
you
we
the-
get
I
dropped
can-
off in the wrong place, again, I would like something that helps with tunneling.
So, like a pickaxe or something?
I was thinking more natural. I've seen depictions of stone swimmers before amongst the elementals. Things that just naturally move through stone and just leave those tunnels behind. Honestly, I'm
Are you saying this like
getting whatever I have a chance
I have a
for.
simple question. Are you saying this out loud for everyone?
Kind
Yeah,
of.
this was open, kind of open
In
discussion.
that case,
Conversational.
in
volume,
that
yeah.
case, of all the people that you suspect, Farron's mother raises her hand, and then without without for you to even to acknowledge her, she just bellows out, "What you need is an elemental mole."
Mole as in the animal or as in the weapon?
An element that is a mole.
Okay.
And how
does
do
not
we
answer
go
the
about
question.
finding that?
That sounds like your problem. And she completely
I'm
just
just wondering.
Nathan just sits there and just stares in one direction for a while.
yeah, she then averts her gaze and just continues on eating.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna go look for something.
Yeah.
As Nathan just struts off in one direction.
So,
I should note, I have no idea where Nathan is going, so,
Yeah. So-
continue the scene where you wish.
Oh. Only other thing I have to do is with Circle, but I don't think he's ready yet.
oh,
Not currently. I'm just now, like, getting back to my house, so
Okay.
stall for another 20 minutes, please.
all for
Another 20 minutes. We'll see.
Hey guys, you remember those mines back where we were kind of kicked out of that my little buddy was so obsessed with going back to? I think we could knock some of that out in 3 days.
Do you mean death row?
Yeah, death row. and the what was it, Necrolite down there. You know, Farron was really interested in going there. I know he's kind of gone now, but
We'd have to fight our way through a bunch of people, which I mean, easy enough.
Oh, we
but...
don't.
Well, this is true.
yeah, it's just a thought. No, no.
Realistic. While I do get why it's a bad idea, if we want to be entirely honest about it, looking back, I don't think any of those people compared to this. And Nathan just kind of knocks on the armor that he's wearing. And we do kind of still have an open book with them.
So,
Up for you to decide, though. I would like to pursue that idea of... I forgot her name. What was the name of Farron's mom? I forgot it again, I'm very sorry.
he never asked of her. Oh wait, technically, he told
Somebody did ask and somebody did mention it.
No.
You know what? Hold on. Let me look at my notes. I have it written down. Right.
Another.
Orica.
There you go.
Vorica. I never
And yes,
asked, but
she did
Virgo
tell
mentioned
us
the
all.
name.
Oh no,
multiple
you
times.
you didn't ask, but you basically declare what you are and then ask of her to ask why you're not worthy, and then she said her name. You had
True,
you had a whole
Vibe check
intervention.
happened.
Also, mind you to realize that she's no longer in the same spot as she was.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
she's eating stuff.
The little
I don't know whether
place-
that's an upgrade.
although the place that she left behind, the main hole, it is still spreading. Like a good
Yeah,
15
I sadly
feet.
assumed.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do to stop it, sadly, right now.
I'm gonna go over to that expanding circle and kind of step through it and see if anything feels different.
You feel this tangible shift in temperature of air. It feels almost like a set temperature, specific temperature, maybe a few degrees higher. And maybe the air feels a bit more drier. But nothing else.
You know what? I'm gonna ask the Quantine mother to see if she wants to spar with me.
Oh, Baron's mother?
Yeah.
Roll me a persuasion check.
You know what mine is, right?
Roll me a
My
I
modifier-
know.
Continue.
I know.
Oh, God.
Continue.
Yeah. No.
You know, it's funny. When we made these characters, we all planned on taking the intimidation skill. When was the last time any of us used it?
You might have.
Didn't I roll for intimidation? No, wait, I rolled for divinity, right?
And you all saw my message a while ago. I had actually messed up the server, the actual numbers when doing third level
Hmm.
of
Just continue on.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus Christ, 45. Oh. Are you just gonna look at her just like, you wanna spar?
To spar. Few things you might be able to teach me.
Might.
She looks...
I'm mostly my intentions are to spar and try and see if I can't figure more about her
Okay.
by the way she fights.
Roll. Okay, so you don't need to roll anything. She looks down at the plates. She clearly had at least 3 omelets. Right. Eaten them. She looks at the table. She clenches her fist and then smacks the table with it once. Audible thud can be heard. And then as she basically pushes the table aside, you can see clearly that this one, because it's basic, wooden beam type of table, right? The wooden beam that she hit and now pushed aside is now slightly bent, and under the table it is cracked. She basically pulverized the section of the board. As she just kind of looks at you and just says, "All right, we shall see what you're made of." Okay, so there is a very good place upstairs that is basically vacant, but there's also outside. Where are you gonna take her?
Take her
Upstairs,
out.
combine it with fucking clearing the plate.
I'm gonna actually see if we can't take it up outside.
Okay.
To be
Okay,
completely
so-
honest, I don't.
So she would nod, and as you walk, she would ask a simple question. Blunt training weapons or real weapons?
Once for now.
She looks a bit disappointed and sighs with this prolonged breath as she goes through her bags of folding, and she seemingly finds almost slightly, how does this, a lot older steel scimitar that is clearly dull but has seen usage probably more than any weapon you ever seen before. There's more scratches and burning marks and signs of early rusting than actual healthy steel. She kind of gives a few thuds with her fingers to see if it's just not gonna break, and seems to be happy with her choice. And I see we're gonna summon a blunt missile weapon. Okay.
Well, I mean, I usually have a blunt weapon anyways,
True.
so
True. So, for the sake that you don't want to go into combat with her, because I will tell you, she could. It's a 50-50. Can you just roll me an athletics, a strength check, and an insight check?
and athletics.
Hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna do athletics, strength, and then insight
Yes.
in that order.
How many people gonna witness this? How many gonna be this?
When I hear that Brit is trying to make that mistake, I definitely would like to watch.
No, for her, I'm gonna just. And...
All right.
Okay.
So 22 athletics,
Mm.
28 strength, and insight is 26.
So, to put it simply, um, her tactics are quick adaptability. Recognizing that you have incredible speed, what she basically does is wait until you get closer to just engage you. She never goes, what's this? Never goes to charge forward, but waits for you to charge her and then try to capitalize on your mistakes. well, albeit you barely do any, and she has to keep up with you. How do I say this? Not knowing, uh, not knowing the true measure of strength for some occasional bouts you had, some challenge you witnessed. This person, to date, is probably the hardest person that ever hit you. We're talking not Tarumak, not the beast of the Yellow Marshes or the Baron of the Yellow Marshes, not Farron, her. And she shows some restraint. She could use her powers as a paladin. She could really go into some sort of bloodlust onto you. But it is it is it is it is the what's it called? It's something like it's almost like something lacking. She's a good, like you could beat her. You think you have certainty, but there's something about her stance, about her look, and something about her hands that she does every single time you're about to charge in or about to swing or about to do anything. She just twirls her hands that just kind of makes you concerned that she might just whoop your ass if push comes to shove, like to the death. Nathan, as a passive observer, you can clearly see her instinct is to say something, an incantation, to do something with her hands, a spell to use. But as this is a purely martial bout with no magic, paladin or whatnot involved, she's extreme, almost catches herself and does not do what she intends to do before Brit swings or charges or So, with that being said, you know
Was
that you have a capable.
previously agreed upon? The no spells, no magic?
Yeah.
Or was it just the saying blunt combat?
blunt combat? Yeah. Technically, that would
Okay.
involve that it's like is
Just more the fact that that just trying to figure out what,
nobody really wants to smite each other. I'm just saying.
at this point, yeah.
You never know when a demon might just knock on the door and be like, "Hello."
I
Oh,
want
smart.
that to happen. Suddenly, we're in the middle of sparring. Pops in. It's like, guys, tremble, and then we just smite in the middle of our sparring match.
Be patient.
Everyone turns slightly.
But yeah, basic gist of it. Not a pushover, Farron's mom. Very capable.
Figured.
Uh,
After a while, we'll just say, I'm just going to retract my thing and bow respectfully.
well, she does bow as well.
Thank you. This was most insightful. Glad we have someone like you on our side.
He says nothing and then goes back to her spot and just sits down and stays.
So Nathan's like, your observations?
Be glad that she held back. She held back a lot.
I noticed. Just not to the extent you probably have.
Being an outside observer is always fun.
Well, I feel
As
like
for
there's
this
still
story-
more. There's still more of her that I need to learn. That's another time.
That's why we don't stop. For now, Do you have anything that you need of Leo for today? I would actually like to try my luck for a few different things in Olash.
I think Leo's predisposed right now.
Uh,
I haven't
No.
found him yet. Where is he?
Oh, he's not.
no,
Oh,
he was predisposed for a few moments when he needed to retrieve Nathan.
Okay, so he is back.
yeah,
Okay.
he is
Yeah,
back.
that's what he went away for.
All right. It's like, not off the top of my head. Other than getting the work into seeing if we can't get teleportation to certain places, more. I mean, just the public transportation areas would be fine for now. That way, we don't tax him as much.
Mm. Yeah, it's pretty much been our main mode of transportation to pretty much anywhere recently.
I would like to not overly rely on him. I don't think he's going to be. If we keep doing that, he'll be happy.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, go talk to him. I got to go find Sergo.
If you get a minute at some point, try to see if you can have a conversation with Karis about that teleportation.
And then I'm right before I leave. It's like, oh, and by the way, have you gotten her name yet?
Nathan sighs with what is, how do I best describe this? A combination of like a point of satisfaction. Yes, he knows her name, but also incredible disappointment and a tiny amount of cringe. Yes, I do know her name. And Nathan's going to turn with that.
She's not gonna press any further. She's just like, the slight smile with the head nodding, like my man. Like, there you go. She's gonna think it. She ain't gonna say it.
That was one hell of a night. So,
Nathan got her last name.
Ooh.
getting a true name of someone like
Anywho,
that.
so
Oh
do
god.
you-
Anyhow, yeah.
I'm gonna let you do the Leo thing because I think
Hmm.
me and Circle's thing's gonna be a hot minute.
I would actually talk to Leo about that elemental mole creature that Vorica was talking about. Just like throwing it into the room with him if I see him. Have you
Well-
ever heard anything about something like this?
Oh, give me a second. Well, you're basically, that thing is. Okay,
Just
how does
imagine
this?
every single time I talk to him, I just basically assault him vocally by
Well-
while he's just doing something completely casual.
Are you?
Let him just enjoy his soup or something.
Okay, so
help
here's the thing though. So as you're basically splitting off yourself, you basically come back to through the main door because you need to get it back in because you did the batting outside, and what you basically see is there you go. What you basically see is Karas in front of the door, awaiting all of you coming back, and there is a swirling, shadowy mass behind him as he stares at all of you. My bestest of friends, friends of Tarumak, I would like to introduce one of the friends that will help you along the way. Gathered from far and long, I would like to present him as he runs to the side and the shadowy mist dissipates. My boy, Paul Untul. You, last thing you remember was disappearing after taking the little offer. And now in front of you there is a shit ton of people just staring in a bit of a surprise, probably. What would you like to say?
So I don't have a character image for the character right
No.
now, unfortunately. So I will describe the character before anything. Before you can tell immediately this guy's from the Platinum Seas. He has the most wizard-ass robes on. He fits the stereotype for the magical robes you'd expect. Some symbols look familiar to what you see on Leo, but he's a more elder gentleman. Slightly pointed ears, you'd probably wager a half elf. Blue tattoos in strange patterns in a language you don't recognize on the top of his head. And silver tattoos lining his throat. Kind of drawing attention to a icy covered mask over his mouth. His eyes are delicate blue, and he looks out to you, almost expectantly.
Face turns to Brit, wherever Brit is currently.
Literally, you're all making your way out from outside to inside to do your things, and literally by the entrance.
Oh, wasn't expecting you so soon. Pleased to meet you. I am Brit Valak. Karis here says you're here to help us out. Extends a hand.
He
One of
takes
the contracts made by Farron, right? Looking over to Kara's.
Nods. Yes.
Okay.
He takes it and shakes the hand, and then he begins to speak. But all of you note something very odd. When he does speak, not only does his mouth not move, but the words aren't common. They aren't any language you understand, but yet, almost as if in an echo, they become understandable. And come out, followed. I am Cole, Wizard of the Platinum Seas. A pleasure.
Alright. Well, you are from the Platinum Seas, huh? Well, what do you specialize in?
New.
What was that?
He said new in a questioning fashion. I wasn't aware I had a predecessor.
Oh, it's more for hire. Definitely need all the help we can get.
Apologies. I'm a conjurist. I specialize.
I see. Well,
Let's go with your hand at this point. Put some back.
well, this is our keep. Here we have, well, of just the people here. I'm just gonna go through the motions of naming everybody.
Are you
here.
gonna just point at Leo, just like, this is Leo?
Was Leo with us
Yes.
outside?
Because he was.
Yeah,
He,
as soon as
can you roll me a history check, Cole?
Yes, I can.
Hey, look, it's your deadbeat uncle. Disappeared.
I mean, maybe.
Sort of.
Ooh. Um. You look at him. You look at Leo, and you think to yourself, "You read something about this man before. One of missing conjurist, a fellow conjurist." And then you look at him as he seems to recognize you, albeit you don't recognize him. And then you're like, you think to yourself, was he in the same class as you? Were you doing the same subject? And there is this, like, you remember something about Leo being in your class. You remember the last name, but you clearly remember almost a younger version of him. You remember that he is someone that partakes, has a minor in dreamscape, minor in dream alteration, of course, a fellow master conjurist like as you, and presume that for almost 3 years, some sort of project. You know how they go, but alive.
You guys notice as Cole's gaze noticeably stands on Leo. You can't tell if he's judging him or just reminiscing.
Um.
Does Leo have a reaction to Cole? That's the question.
Oh yeah, he's clearly he's clearly uncomfortable, but more to the fact of how he looks. Because his clothes are raggedy. They're not a fit. He seems more like a well-traveled scholar than one of the higher and more brilliant minds of the planet of seas. And maybe a bit just like this, all of a sudden, just a random of like seeing one fellow member to another. But also, you feel like there's something else. But he can't really catch on what. Maybe he's hiding something for you. Maybe you met with him before. Maybe you should recognize him. He clearly recognizes you. You remember as much as you remember at the very moment.
Yeah, I can just imagine you guys like all like awkwardly introduced, and it's just me and Leo just staring at each other.
Yeah.
I'd like to lean down to Britt real quick and be like, "Hey, I'm not really too sure here, but are wizards territorial? They seem kind of weird energy here."
What are the like the mating rituals?
the mating rituals of the
Should
book.
Let's ship it,
should
okay.
we be worried about like them being more dangerous during a certain season?
Leo shakes
I
his
have
head.
like that time of year.
Leo just shakes his head and just says, no, and then approaches you, Cole, and kind of extends his hand. Pleasure. I read several of your books.
Reaches out his hands politely to shake. Yes, I didn't see it fit for a full introduction. I'll correct myself. Cool Unthu. Kyle Brundebar. And he says that as if you guys should recognize it. Whether you do or not.
Do we recognize any of it?
Roll me a history check with disadvantage, everybody.
Oh god.
Normal for me, okay.
Normal for
No, for you.
God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Good history pays off.
Good history does pay off. You think to yourself, right? You immediately recognize the names as of that of Platinum's royal families, albeit the royal family is like more like a honorary title, doesn't have much power, more like, for efforts throughout the, centuries or millennia of work, you gain recognition in the Majocracy. And then it's like, wait a minute, no, there's something else. Something happened recently. And then it takes you a good few moments and like, and then this like epiphany comes up to you, as also Leo kind of very subtly in your mind sends a message. Don't do anything bad to him. She might be watching. And when you like think to yourself, she watching, and you think to yourself, wasn't there like a child of Mistra that had the same last name as the person in front of you? And you kind of just stare at him, slowly but surely realizing that that is the correct answer.
So, descendant of a child of Mistra. Correct?
No.
Or a child of Mistra himself.
Oh no. Sibling, as in
Sibling, okay.
as in her biological sister. It might be, or is one. Which,
Fair enough.
yeah, which is like pretty fucking awful on the wrong side.
It's wonderful to make your acquaintance. Are you aware where we're supposed to travel next?
No, Karlek was obfuscating some information. He looks over to the little happy plugger.
As Scars pronounces happily, you got 3 days, do what you want, and then off you go to the elemental plane of Earth. Play some big old demonic baddie. Do that again and again and again, and then it immediately just, as it says again and again, it just goes back to its nest and lays there. So yeah, I have a new party member. Congratulations.
He kind of looks over. I think you'll find my talents quite apt for this task. As he kind of looks past you into the hold you have. A bit archaic, isn't it?
It's currently
much
being
so.
refurbished.
I can see Brit saying that through gritted teeth.
I'm guessing you've had a cleric bless it?
A few.
Yeah.
Most of us here have taken up a pact with the divine, so there's a certain presence available here anyway, but a lot of the stronger paladins have also left their own trace.
I understand. Where shall I be staying?
Yes, Leighton, do you mind showing him to the quarters?
I can do that. I will take him to the upper floor, to the smaller rooms. Speaking of them right now, like, have we assigned the projects that are currently being worked on today?
Technically no. I was waiting for you.
Because, like, today seems like a great day to invest in the quality of the beds. Just to actually follow on, just to actually follow through with that, it's currently being worked on.
Yeah.
So
It's coming soon.
To improve the bed quality for all. And what's the other thing, if I may ask?
Kitchen? I would say either kitchen or mess hall.
That's all. Honestly, might as well follow through with it, saying that everything gets upgraded. So I would say quality of the current tables and chairs.
Yep.
Okay, so good. So,
We're keeping up that appearance.
so that being
Scripted as
said,
fuck, but it's gonna work somehow.
Would act professional.
yeah, professional.
Mm.
Oh, I think Dagger's in the Comic Con. That's like realized.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah. So with that being said, Circle, Britt, you wanted to do something.
Well, Brit knows about it. Sergal technically does not.
So what would you like to do?
Sure,
is
because
why
I'm going to.
Sergal-
It's like
After like the new people show up, and I assume they kind of like disperse or talk amongst themselves with the other party members. Sergal's like kind of moving off to the side, probably just like a little to the edge of the woods.
just going to follow you then. What
doesn't
are you
seem
doing
to-
outside?
He doesn't seem. First of all, he doesn't seem to be like looking for anyone to follow him, or like making sure he isn't followed. He's just kind of trying to. Just trying to walk away, and he like finds a little place that has like a little flat area in the forest, not out of eyesight or earshot really of the base, but like far enough away that it's kind of semi-private.
And I go and break the ice. It's like, I'm really thinking about putting in like a big old bonfire area out here. Seem to be doing a lot of talking and meeting outside.
I'm trying to do like lore. You don't need to be fed. I'm doing lore. Sorry, my
Cat's
my cat
interrupting.
clawed me.
Also, just
Yeah,
me
wants to be
or
fed.
Circle is very, very quiet for me.
It might just be how I'm talking right now.
Oh yeah, no, it was me. Never mind. Disregard.
Okay.
Okay.
But
When Britt talks, like he turns around very sharply. He didn't seem to realize that Britt was following him. Yeah, a bonfire.
right.
What,
Hey, you're sitting?
Britt? What What showed you that becoming a paladin was the right thing for you?
Well, I'm sure you've heard my story. Woke up in a cot, life saved by Tarumak himself and Anna. Just that, and not having anything to go going back, no family to go back to, kind of sets my path on itself.
Do you think it's what you were supposed to be?
She's thinking, like, I I've occasionally asked myself that. Most recently was around. I think the last time I thought that was when we tried to bring Sylvie back. And normally usually my conclusion is yes. Believe we are here for a reason. Is there something that's been bothering you?
Kind of, he. While Britt says that, he pulls down his hood and kind of fixes his hair, like the stumps of his horns are fairly visible. There's no point in hiding them anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, she's also always known.
Well, yeah, but Sergal doesn't know that.
Okay. Ah.
What that mercenary said on the way to the fight?
Yeah.
There was a good reason why I hid it for so long. Why, part of me still wants it to be hidden, wishes it were still hidden.
Oh. I mean, I get being a tiefling can be a bit different, but shouldn't be any need to hide it.
That's not precisely my point. What if... Can a devil's son really be a paladin? Is this... You can see Sergal's really struggling with his words in a way that he doesn't normally. As he tries to voice what his concern really is.
Well, there's of course Tarumak himself, and well, I don't know about his brother and all that. You seem to be very much a paladin as I am.
Yeah, but... And he kind of... Yeah, but you and Nathan and Farron seem to be on a different level. Like... You've all figured out something that I just haven't. And I've tried mimicking what you and Farron and what you all have done, and nothing happens. Like,
Or maybe that was not the path to your potential that you were meant to take.
then what is the path? 'Cause
You can embrace who you were, who you are. Stop hiding those nubs, for starters.
Sergal visibly, like, recoils at that option. Like,
As you do that, Brit is definitely confused because she doesn't know
It's... I'm a lot more than just a tiefling. I only really learned recently, but Tarumak is... Tarumak is my uncle.
There's a pause. As it's like, oh,
Oh.
I see. She's, and then that means his brother is.
Sergal, who's throughout the pause has just been silently watching Brit's reaction.
She's
Just
absorbing
nods.
this revelation. It's like, I see. Well, that certainly makes more. That certainly makes a lot of sense now. she's chuckling a little.
Certainly no laughing.
Oh no, it's more of the one of the first interactions I had with Tarumak when you came to the monastery. It's only now I understand why. He said you were, out of all of us, you were the most important. And that if I'm to pursue protecting everyone, I make sure that you are the last one. If I could only save one person, to make it you.
Well, now it's Sergal's turn to be confused.
I obviously did not know what he fully meant until now. It just means he knew that he brought you here because he knew you were special. Seems to have done that with everybody. Maybe not as exactly how he planned, but in a way. Well, yeah, definitely an interesting development for sure.
You can see why I'm a little hesitant to tap into who I am. I don't know what to do, but...
Well, the way I think of it is that more or less share the DNA of two notable figures that we know, both your father and Tarumak. And it seems like Tarumak is the more the one to do his best. You share DNA with him, so while yes, you are a direct descendant of his brother, you still have that power to continue to be doing the good that Tarumak has raised us to do.
Yeah, 20 fate. And,
It's good. It's good.
DNA, blood, it's all the matter of intelligence.
It's an intelligence score of
Means
25,
the DNA
but
of the
still same.
Okay, so
Not quite that
I
much.
mean,
but
Lecter
still.
learned about genetics at in 29, so
Yeah.
uh,
Anyways, it's still you share
you're
blood.
halfway there.
We'll just do blood.
Yeah.
In any sense, you also have us. And I know more than anything that you, especially now knowing who your lineage is, that you have the potential for very great things. You just need to stop running from who you are.
Tarumak wasn't exactly a paragon of good his entire life either.
No, no one can ever be. But eventually he turned around, raised all 8 of us, to the best of his abilities, of course.
Sergal takes a deep breath in. What were your parents like?
You know what? Haven't really thought about them. I have had the opportunity to think about them. Being as how, up until recently, my memory of before waking up in the cart was not really there. I do believe that, but from the glimpses as well as my last interaction with that point, I would imagine they were.
Oh dear. Somebody's at my door. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm really sorry. This is like a package
Okay.
I need to grab.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Circle's
Say, which
kicking.
one of you motherfuckers are listening?
I'm the DM. I listen to
Listening
all.
in the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know shit that's happening over at your place right now, but
Right now,
it's
Megan is
mainly
helping me
because I'm
unpack.
busy.
Okay.
Right now, I'm busy leading around a pretentious voice box. So we'll see how that continues.
Just a voice.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I do have a scene to play out, so when we actually do get a moment, yeah.
I will be standing directly in front of Farron's door. He cannot have that room.
That room will never be used again.
And this room, this will be your room. Sorry for the cinders. The guy here was a little bit hot-headed.
The basement. But yeah, it's must be a big package.
All right,
Seems
I'm
like
back.
it.
Sorry about
All right.
that.
So what did you say last? Or what did somebody say last?
I believe I asked Britt what
About
her
the
parents.
parents.
Were like. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna start that over. Saying, well, don't really remember them, my actual ones. To the point where whenever And she chuckles just whenever I imagine my parents, I see Tarumak and Anna. So I'd like to think that my real parents were loving and kind. She's currently playing with her ring that Anna gave her all those years ago. At that. If anything, they've been my family longer than my actual family. And I would do everything in my power to protect them. Looks to you. Or at least get them to the point where they can protect themselves.
Circle will smile slightly and nod.
Put hand on stick. You don't have to accept who you are right this second. But if you do choose to, I would very much like to be by your side to see what you become. Because I know it's going to be a good show.
Circle will stand up at that. He had kind of sat down by the edge of a tree. And he stands up, smiles. Wouldn't have it any other way.
And don't worry. If you don't want the others to know, I won't tell them.
He
the horn
sighs and kind of looks up at his horns.
I've kept quiet about that ever since you were brought into the monastery. One more secret, should you choose.
His eyes just like especially widen at that, and he sighs. And here I was thinking I had hidden it so well. Nathan already knows as well.
Well,
But
I mean, if it was just recently, that's understandable, but...
no, I told him quite some time ago, actually.
And I'm the eldest. It's my job to know these things. Gives a wink.
What are your thoughts about this new mage person? Cole, I think they said their name was?
Well, Kara seems to think he's the right fit for the job. And he's been pretty helpful so far. I'd say we give it a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Assuming...
Another Platinum C, was it?
Well, to be fair, the other one had been stuck in a book for a while.
Yeah,
And-
this one hasn't.
Hopefully.
Why do you think I told Nathan to go show him to the rooms? If anyone's going to pick up on ulterior motives, it's going to be him.
Sergal will shrug and nod. Makes sense as just about anything. Shall we head back?
Yes. Well, I can assure there's probably enough soul searching for both of us. For today at least. Always feel free to come and talk to me about this.
No more secret. The Sergal kind of he says it with like a kind of tone of finality as he looks to Brit, promising himself just as much as her. I hope you cooked enough omelets for everyone.
I will see. I seem to have. I had lost 20 of them beforehand. Don't know where they went.
Karis get hungry?
That would be my assumption. I didn't really see anything. Just poofed out of the way, out of existence. It's either that or the keep got hungry. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to. It's like you go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go and scout out a good location for that bonfire meeting area.
Sergal nods and walks back towards the vault, or whatever we want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget.
Ben, our lovely DM, can we shift over to Nathan and Cole?
Yes, yes.
Expectingly.
I assume you're gonna. Cole, can you roll me a history, a religion, and just an investigation check? Because Nathan just kind of gives you a quick.
Throwing the book at me. All right. History first.
History, religion,
religion. It's also a.
and investigation. Also, Nathan, are you just gonna be like,
all the same much.
yeah, Nathan, are you gonna give him a whole tour? Or are you gonna just?
I'm not doing an incredibly extensive tour yet. I'm just like
This is your room.
basically explaining. Like we're going to the rooms right now. We're currently like in the main chapel. The mess hall's over there. Usually, the person who just introduced you to us, Brit. She's the best cook in the area, and she usually does most of the cooking around here. Apparently, something about some of our omelets getting stolen. That's a problem for later. We're currently working on a few different things. One of the other paladins is currently exploring alchemy, as we're currently preparing for the next assault. A lot of people are.
Forgive me. Go
on. We have explored a few different philosophies around here, until recently. One of us used to practice smithing to a quite extensive degree, going beyond maintaining armor and going into very modern weaponry. I'm not going to explain anything more than that right now. He can figure that out himself.
So Cole, giving just a quick tour and just looking around, several pointers spring in your head as you're extremely well read upon. First of all, you see that the outer shell, or the outside, the mountain that is basically this place is, and the stone that the actual holes are decked out are of a different stone. meaning that it's not been carved out here, it has not been built here, but actually has been manifested here somehow by some arcane means. You know that this place was used to be a Churchill Offender with some smudges still left on some specific places where you assume uh, certain blessings or small shrines in the middle of the walls would be placed. Uh, and for some reason, you spotted changing. As of course, you put Karas into task to improving. You will feel a change as manifestations are sprung out of thin air and seemingly improving the place, albeit it is not of arcane nature. Your immediate conclusion, just a very average conclusion, this is not arcane based, and this is not some holy divinity magic. This place is infested by demons. It is the place which you're looking for, technically.
Hmm. He's carefully watching as things change and as they walk around and he explains things. And as we, I assume, get closer to the rooms,
Hmm.
and he stops and he looks at you.
Anything
Which
wrong?
one?
Take your choosing. Most of them have not been taken yet.
He looks
They
over.
are all equipped the same, except of course for the ones taken.
He nods. And which staircase did you lead him down?
I would say, given the room construction, one second, the one past the barracks, so that you would get a short glimpse into the apothecary and the training halls, but not the forging area. So we would be going like on the left side of the building, so the short side of the smaller rooms.
He looks. You come up to the first one. He looks at it. Is this one clear?
Tell me which above the table right now, which one was marked by?
left. Oh, sorry. Oh, which one's marked by Farron is the
Yeah.
one straight down from the forge stair.
Right, as close to this to the fort as possible. As far as I'm aware, most of the people settled down close to Farron. That's me talking above table. I'm going to check inside for a second.
Looks.
I think this room should be clear. I'm going to have to actually write down at some point who claimed which room, just
Yeah.
to be entirely sure.
As as you kind of look into it and you say it's clear, he walks past you. Assist me. And he turns to turns to the back wall. He points to the wall and says, "Study." And a door just forms and manipulates itself out of the wall. This way. As he
Nathan doesn't move for a moment. He just stands in the doorway, slightly like leaning against the doorframe. Conjuration, right?
on paper. And
And in
with
truth,
that,
and in truth, Nathan,
Exactly.
you can hear that Nathan is slightly more serious about this, like just slightly worried because he didn't see you cast any like incantation of any kind.
Exactly. As you say, in truth, he says exactly.
Explain.
Truth. He says as he acts like this is like the obvious answer. and then he sees it doesn't click in your head. Words of power, my child. Truth.
Does that term mean anything to Nathan?
Roll me.
Arcana?
History or Arcana check. Trade roll. Because it would be with disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Arcana just for the fun of it. A 30.
While you don't know the specifics of what you're engaging here, you do know that power words are an interesting thing. And some people who essentially master it are so good at it to the point that they just need to utter simple words to make full phrases or sentences or even paragraphs at some points. And they're very good at casting spells. As the one word can mean life and death in the wrong hands, or I guess on the wrong side. Dangerous individual the skull is that you can detest.
Nathan immediately, not takes a full step back, but shifts back in the door frame slightly.
Don't be shy.
Words of power.
And he flicks his fingers and like the door comes wide open. You can see through the door. It's what looks to be like a spiral library. One that doesn't spiral forward, but spirals up.
Okay.
I only have 2 arms. It kind of just claps as he moves forward, expecting you to follow.
I will follow carefully. Before entering, Nathan is doing like a divine sigil in the air. It would be obvious divine casting. At least to somebody of higher magical education. The exact meanings may not be known to you. Just to be fucking sure, I'm casting Bless. And blessing myself just to have a tiny advantage on saving throws if necessary. And there's a second rune that's probably a bit obscure for you, that he makes most of the motion for, but like in a jagged motion just cuts it off at the end. Nathan is basically prepping Watcher's Will if absolutely necessary. But because this is like an oath-specific divine sigil, I don't expect you to know that.
Yeah, you could definitely. His ear perks up as you cast magic, but he doesn't turn his head. So,
generally speaking, now having had a feeling for true sight as Nathan, does anything seem off about you?
Yes. There are two main things. One thing, the tattoos on his head have mild magic, but it's faint. There's likely no actual purpose to it. The tattoos on his necks are glowing. Those are utilitarian. And the mask, magic is just brimming off of that as well. But he is just what he appears. There is no illusion magic being applied here. Oh, and his robes are glowing with magic. You can...
I assumed. With that rune finished, Nathan will follow you inside.
You look to what you see.
Still slightly cautious.
You see a room that's about, it's not as big as it first appeared. It reaches about 30 to 30 feet from width to length, and about 20 feet up. Basic question, Nathan, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception, that's a good fucking question. My passive perception is 32. No, 33. Sorry.
You look like you just glance around, and you know that that beneath one of the staircases is a pulley. This has a floor that reaches downwards. You're on the second story. And looking around even more so, and you're a paladin, so I'm going to assume you just know this off the bat. This isn't just a minor library. There is a shrine embedded in the back center of one of the bookcases. This is a temple of Mistral.
Well, fuck.
And
That at
You
least
be-
explains why you were assigned to work with us.
oh, this is something I just prepped in case.
In case?
He nods. Alright.
In case for what?
He doesn't answer as he starts going across the bookcase and starts pulling out books and lightly tossing them towards you. This one.
When the books are being tossed at Nathan, he's actually going to, like, at least for the first few, try to catch a glimpse at the covers. What are you tossing at Nathan? Is it like spell literature? Is it incantation specific stuff? Spell scrolls? Arcane
Okay, so I have a
history?
question.
Folklore?
I have a question here. Out of these 5 languages, how many do you know? Infernal, Primordial,
Second.
Celestial, Draconic, Abyssal.
Again, please.
Sorry. Out of these 5 languages, which ones do you know? Infernal, Primordial, Celestial, Draconic, Abyssal.
Only primordial.
So you see a bunch of books pass by. A lot of them in languages you can't read, but seem vaguely familiar to you. And then a particular book passes your vision, and it is on primordials, more exactly elementals. And it's not just one book. A couple fly by and you can't quite read it fast enough. But because I know you can see the bloody future by 6 seconds. And and I could throw a grenade and you'd react to it. You can see there is actually quite a bit of primordial books just around the library if you just give a glance. He's clearly studied up on elementals.
Very much
And-
seems fit for the purpose then.
Did you say something?
Just remarking, you seem well fit for this task. Primordial literature.
Right, it was my minor.
Right, Wizard Academies. May I ask something?
He's going through a couple more books, not tossing them at you this time. He's picking up a few more carefully.
There's a question brimming on my mind that could cause a war if misheard. Are you in any way associated with the king of the archipelago?
He stops for a moment. He looks back at you with the question, with like a raised eyebrow. And I know of the king of the archipelago, but I'm gonna leave it to the DM's hands exactly how much I know. Can I do a history check?
Yeah, you can do a history check with advantage.
I know the bloody bastard. No. That's a nice
You
Do
would
you want
know
the family issues document?
you know basically everything. Not because you were told to learn, but let's just say after what you witnessed, the dream,
studied up.
all of a sudden you're like, you gotta look. While Electra was not your main focus for your search, You basically know every single detail that you can get from a second account basis.
He stops, and then you look as his eyes turn over to one of the bookshelves, and because you can see like an eagle on steroids, you see a book. No, 3, 5, 6, 8 books. Archipelago, Lecter, and you just see books labeled after things in that realm. A bit. No, personally. I'd prefer not to.
I was just fascinated by this. Except for the king himself, I haven't had much conversations with this part of the world either. I mean, I'm from there, but I've been dissociating since. I was just fascinated. One of the king's brothers carries the same name, and their family also counts a child of Mystra, or I think a child of Mystra. I'm not entirely sure.
Whoa.
It's just an odd similarity. I'm very sorry.
He looks at you for a second longer. The children of Mystra are busy folk. And there's almost the most slightest tinge of... You can't pinpoint it. If you want to do a further insight check, you can. But some hinge of negative emotion laced into that. And it's... given he is power speaking technically, straightforward.
The straight roll in that case then would be.
No, you don't need to straight roll for it. You don't. I think that you just went straight for it. I was remarking on the no hesitance.
Yeah, I was very fast about that. I'm very sorry.
As you appeal further, and you notice one really weird thing, is that when you focus on the words that he speaks, they almost repeat in different words. The words carry immense meaning behind them, and if you focus on them, you can read into them further than maybe even he intended. And you get almost sensations of something close to resentment. Not quite there, but it's almost like you experience the emotion yourself. And you feel it isn't quite resentment. It's close. You're not exactly sure how close, or what to.
Nathan openly chuckles for a second and then just continues on.
Alright.
Quite an impressive study you have here.
Yes,
Yes, I would like to spend some time here over time.
He looks back. No. And he looks back to the bookcase. And suddenly,
I
he
used to
realized,
be the bookkeeper for the library of the fort that was under Tarumak's command.
You call that a library?
Before it was annihilated.
Oh, not here. He nods. Alright, that's everything on these shelves. These are the delicate ones. He claps his hands. And things start moving. It isn't clear at first, but again, because you can true see and you have passive perception of above 30, you freak. That you see aberrations. Illusionary humanoid forms start picking up books from the higher floor up. And a few there. I've got the personal choices, so they'll sort out the rest.
Should we head back then?
He nods. And he starts walking back. They'll sort out the rest. They'll sort out the rest. Seems almost absent-minded at that last statement.
An interesting focus.
Right.
I hadn't
I have
given
a
up my
question for
sight
you.
for this. Huh?
I have a question for you.
Very well then. Ask ahead.
I smell demon. Have any?
Full-blooded, half-blooded, demon infected, desecrated. What are you looking for?
Hopefully born.
True-blooded demons?
Preferably.
What do you need them for?
He squints. And as he's like measuring which exact words to use for this. Research.
Do you have a bigger room you can provide? Ideally one that wouldn't get damaged.
One moment. Check something real quick. I need to check the exact details of something.
Magnificent mansion, yes you can rechange the room.
I was just checking what level of spell it was.
7th.
Thank you. I know I can use this. Yep. And he nods and says, mansion. And the room starts expanding and contorting. And there's not room within this entire kind of settlement, if you could, not settlement, hold, to fit this room. It's distorting reality and dimensions. As around you, he meant what he said when he said it was a minor library, in different words, I should say. As the magnificent mansion is in the form of just one big ass library.
Yeah.
Countless
Very well.
books, training, and then he looks at it and motions his hands apart, and the bookcases push away the excessive hallways, and they go into one solid, massive wooden brick as the center of the magnificent mansion is cleared.
Very well. So, I do have your permission.
You do.
God, I just realized.
Nathan draws his blade. Very well. Vazarut, demonic cleaver, bound as a slave to the blade of Saloon, I summon you here.
As you say that, there's a moment of hesitary panic as Cole wipes his hands, and where you're summoning him turns to marble instead of wood.
I told you. Nathan says that without looking at you.
Yeah. With a massive. Can you roll me just a D8? I want to see what kind of entrance he's gonna make. Yeah.
A 6.
Okay. So, all of a sudden, Cole, can you roll me an Arcana check? Nathan, you can also do Arcana. As your Baylor literally, you hear a sound of fire in front of you, but you don't see the source. As all of a sudden, the ceiling of Cole's magnificent mansion gets torn open as something of basically ripping of the planes, as the Baylor rips it open and falls down. But before he falls like face first to the ground, he almost like catches himself on the edge by one of his hoofs and just lands on his feet. His blade silvery, his armor of silver, and his whip made of pure white flame is present as it howls at you both.
Cole's eyes.
Cole, Can you roll me a
sorry.
wisdom saving throw?
It,
Will he get terrified by it?
That would be so funny.
okay, wisdom. Hang on.
As
As this happens,
you're terrified.
I feel no, I see the fear, but there is a reactionary spell I would like to cast.
Yes.
Power word save. As there's a moment of fear that flares in Cole's eye, and he says, "Save." His fingers flash, his voice bellows, and I am going to casually 7th level cast that, and I add 8 to my saving throw.
There you go.
I could be an asshole and counterspell that.
You could try. With that said, though, yeah, in a moment's notice, you see a spell you've never seen before, heard of, and with a simple word, he saves.
Yeah, but now in presence of you both. Oh yeah, you rolled both. Oh my God, Nathan. Okay, Cole. First of all, that's not how it should happen. It tore through your roof. That shouldn't happen in any summoning.
Yeah, exactly.
And same from you,
Something
Nathan. You realize something, Nathan, from your first-hand experience, and of course your travels, recent travels, and Cole, from your arcanic expertise, from what you read, this would signify the thinning between planes, a weakening between spheres of influence, meaning summoning creatures slowly but surely might be not as difficult, but also they can be frequent and chaotic. And this one showcase of how it randomly went through your ceiling is just but a start.
The fact that it was a Baylor nonetheless makes it a bit worrying, I assume. But no, at the very least, this Baylor is currently just residing in your library, or at least the empty mansion, or the empty mansion space. Non-hostile.
That's a good clarification to make.
Nathan doesn't say that specifically. He just stands there, the blade still out, waiting for a reaction on your turn.
He looks at it expectantly. Is waiting for it to do anything before deciding it's not going to do anything.
He just stands there and growls.
And I don't know if True Sight lets you see like magical auras. But if you can see it, there is a small burst of magic that just flows out of him. No components, no nothing, as I cast Detect Magic. And it's both a cantrip, and I don't need any vocal components for it.
Very nice.
It's just the eyes turn a arcane blue, and I would like. This is my first time getting how do I say it, up and personal with a demon.
With the Baylor, definitely.
With the
with a lesser demon, you see plenty first-hand accounts.
You know, I've seen a couple conjured ones. You know, a couple ones restrained with planar
Not
binding. You know,
yeah.
But this is a remark of true demonic power, and you very much know. Sorry, go on.
There's one blatant obvious thing that is wrong about this demon. While it resembles everything that would resemble a demon, Baylor to the letter, its essence is just wrong. It is less of a demon, more of a celestial being. It has silver armor, silver weaponry, and it has celestial light. Can you roll me? Oh wait, you did roll me. But can you roll me a religion check with advantage?
Sure thing. This is a very important field of research for me. That is a 25.
25. So, you do not know the subject of it, full extent of it, but you know this demon, this entity in possession.
Right, 29.
Oh, 29? Oh god. It went through some sort of transformation. It ascended. It changed alignments in more ways than morality. This is less of a demon, more like an angelic creature by its composition. Albeit it looks like demon, and of course for a peasant who'd be running off or running away from it would see nothing more than it. But it is basically an angel by all means. By the
Fallen
high...
angel, unfallen.
No, more like a fucking horrific demon redeemed.
How
Which
did
sounds
you...
like a fairy tale in the first place.
Yes. You know, only a handful of accounts of gods granting this blessing to some demons in almost folklore tier retellings. Never have you seen one in person. Clearly.
How did you... He looks over at you.
Nathan shoulders the blade that he drew when he summoned that. Welcome to a stronghold of paladins. We are avatars of gods. Expect the divine.
He looks at you. No.
How do you think I've been looking at you for this entire time?
Oh my fucking god!
He looks at you and says no, and you're not sure exactly which part he's saying no to, or the concept as a whole. But he said
Probably the concept as a whole, which in of itself is a great thing to do. This rejection is not gonna get you far in this place. It's a choice you can make.
he looks over at it. Can you influence
Not a good one. Anything in particular?
No. Hold the influence. I want to see it. I need to see it.
How heretical am I going to be with this? Hmm? Very well. Lifting the blade slightly off the shoulder. Bazarut, Cleaver,
Stands
join me in a prayer. Join me in a prayer to Saloon. Our shared lord deserves a prayer for this wonder.
It
Perfect.
literally
Hold
it literally sends the cleaver down in front of it, like just fucking impales into the ground, and half of it is just gone, and just takes one knee.
Hold it there. As I look through the detect magic, and I look
Hold.
into the... Sorry. As I look into the magic, Orexes, and I would like to run an Arcana check to try to better understand how the true naming magic works as I watch this unfold.
Okay.
Can I make an Arcana check?
Roll
I don't
me a
know why, I
Arcana
just love the
check.
pan flute in the background.
Yeah,
here.
and a 2d 100s.
And I am, in addition to that, I'm going to use my funny power word proficient at 7th level, because wizards
What
can...
the fuck?
Oh yeah, welcome to Platinum Seas, baby.
Oh, you're gonna
Alright,
be a
alright.
great support character.
Oh yes.
Yeah, with that question, sorry, do I just a plain flat Arcana check?
You can roll with advantage, because this is what you've been
This is
looking
my
for.
study.
This is like all the time you've been wondering. This is like the meat of what you're looking for. This is the prime example. The prime
That is a 40.
40. 2d 100s.
First one. 99. And Sim-
Jesus fucking Christ. God. You look upon it, and Nathan, for a second, you look at him like, just kind of examining from up close, and he gets a bit, Cole gets a bit more familiar with the creature, gets a bit more courageous, knowing that it's just gonna try to fight it. Mind you, this is a 30 feet Baylor. This is something that could eat you both with its just one bite if it wants to. But it takes all of a sudden this weird turn as Cole, almost like a kid, starts climbing it, seemingly investigating, climbing on its back, slightly kicking down the scales of the Baylor, which he doesn't do much because it barely does anything.
There's no respect for personal space.
For Cole's perspective, this is a very intriguing find, to say the fucking least. Some people in the Flamsies would fucking kill for this literal opportunity, and some people are. You could probably get like 70 to 80 people who would be more in understanding of the subject that you're peering in, but however, there's only you at this moment. As you go in,
Give me a moment. I shall arrange a symposium for this meeting.
As you peer in, you basically realize that it is still demonic in nature, but as soon as the essence flees from its body, it almost turns celestial. So there's something different about it. You basically surmise in a matter of a few minutes that everything around him, from limbs, face, wings, weapons, all celestial, but something within its heart and upper back still goes infernal for a moment before it changes. And there, as you stare at the back, looking, just seeing flickers of light from this like orange red to this almost pale white, and you just see, and you're trying to figure out what it is. You kind of just stare at it. There's nothing. It's like a kid looking at lights. But then in your mind, something snaps slightly. The will to bind everything. The words of power. The gray words of power. You remember the power you once achieved. The power that you could do is within your reach. Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw?
Question.
He's gonna
They
eat. Oh
light
my
up your
goodness.
aura?
Is Cole
Sorry?
gonna go the exact same way Farron did? Just
It
like
says right here.
It would be
30
so
sessions
funny.
earlier.
Oh my god, no, I fucking got it 4 hours.
Imagine.
No.
With that said, question: do I have your aura?
No.
Because
No!
you know.
Get fucked.
All right.
You're not my friend.
You're not my friend. Sorry. Wisdom.
Yeah, wisdom save.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm with silvery barbs. Funny. If I remember, that's a failed save.
Uh-huh.
Gonna roll again. I'm gonna hope for a funnier number. That's a much funnier number.
Yeah, it is, but it's still a failure.
Damn it! Am I gonna? All right. No, I'm a wizard. I have magic bullshit.
It's a DC against your sister.
Oh shit. I don't think there is anything I can do to pass that check then.
Not yet. So, you glean into the past for a brief as a moment, staring at its back. You remember a creature, demonic creature, a babao demon or something like that. Something staring at the back. Simple 3 syllables. If you know the core, the natural instinct of the predator you try to subjugate, if you know its needs and its wants. With those 3 syllables, you can essentially bind it to your will, as Nathan has bound this. A binding of the gods, a celestial binding without reason. And as you think of those syllables, all of a sudden, your gaze almost like mists over and freezes as you feel a familiar cold touch on your neck. And then you feel yourself just kind of frozen for a few moments until you hear a familiar worried hum as you're getting dragged through the floor. You hear indistinct sounds of your sister struggling as she puts you to your bed, your eyes still glazed over. Even though you do not remember of this, and you do not know why you see this, you realize this is one of the memories you have lost. As she looks at you and just kind of puts your hands normally onto your chest as if you were sleeping and pats you on the head and disappears. As you step back and you basically witnessing the Baylor's back shining the differences between the Infernal Celestial, you know there's a path. You know there's a way. And you know exactly who forbade you to proceed it.
There is okay, I have an Arcana question, and I don't know if my character would just know the answer.
Huh?
Would she know that I pushed up against the spell, accidentally or not?
You
Or a
assume...
better question, can I hide the fact that I accidentally pushed up against it?
I'm gonna be certain with this answer. You would need a lot more preparation to try to conceal prodding from your sister. Additionally, you have no fucking clue, but the better side of you thinks, yeah, she fucking knows.
As it's kind of that moment, like when you're washing dishes and you accidentally knock down some expensive china.
Well,
you know.
Question: is there a noticeable aura? Can Nathan see that I just accidentally bumped on against a spell that?
Nathan, as you look
flare of
around,
light going up in the sky.
like a good few seconds, looking at the bag, Cole is mesmerized, and then you see 2 eyes pop above him, and he just starts being stared at. Somebody is watching him now.
As in scrying?
Yes, scrying or...
Just for the fun of it, Nathan's going to cast non-detection on himself.
God.
Right. Right. He stops. He glazes over. He realizes the ground he stepped on by accident. Right.
Uh-huh.
And he takes a step back and he looks over at Nathan. Enough.
Your services are no longer needed. As a route, you may
Pulls out
leave.
gun.
Pulls out gun.
As I
I'm not a
sheathe the
wizard.
sword again and cancel the summoning. Actually fascinated by what happens to
Well,
the Baylor now.
it grabs its cleaver out of the ground, raises it above its head, and in the shimmering pale white just and disappears. Yeah.
Kind of, he looks out at Nathan. Thank you. Most informative. But not yet. And
That sounds like a you problem.
There's the tiniest of chuckles from Cole as you say that. It's a mortal problem. I'll rectify it eventually, but not yet.
If you need something beyond mortal, tell me. And this is mostly to flex, but Nathan is going to give you, like, basically for one turn, he's going to include you in his divine aura. And it's just this feeling of being like watched
safe and
and
secure.
saved by the divine. Like there's an otherworldly safety that you feel around yourself right now, and it's surprisingly strong.
Oof. That's.
And as
would've been
soon
useful.
as that moment hits, Nathan draws that back.
Hmm.
Paladins specialize in saving other people, so
That would have been useful. He looks at his wrists. There's no watch there.
3 seconds ago,
He nods.
3.5 maybe.
9 actually. You're 6 seconds off. He squints. There. Hmm. Well, you've
Happens
been
to the
more
best
than
of us,
able.
as you might have noticed. Recurring patterns.
Well,
This
if
is
you
actually
have-
kind of a curious question. Has he noticed the fact that Nathan has true sight?
that's a good question. You can insight check him if you
That
want.
is a good question.
I'm genuinely curious right now.
Yeah, insight check him.
23?
You have a feeling he didn't notice until one particular moment. When you look up.
I looked up too early.
When you looked up at something that should not have been able to be seen by mortal eyes. At his sister's gaze.
Very true.
Because quite frankly, and this is something your character should be able to put together, you've noticed that his establishments are like sanctified as temples of God. Meaning the only people that can interfere with his plane of existence in this regards are people that basically have Mistra's permission. There are very few
Or
people
other
that have
gods.
default- or other gods. And so it's very easy to click. There are very few people that have automatic permission from Mistra to fuck around and find out. So you notice he does catch that gaze. Whether he put it together completely, you're uncertain. But he saw the gaze. And with that said, he kind of nods and brushes himself off. I have quite a few things to get to. So, while it's been pleasant, verily, I must get back to it. He kind of wishes his hands, and the mansion almost fades as it kind of reconfines itself within the dimensional confines of the room. Right. Off now. I don't need you anymore. No, let me know if you need me.
Nathan, one curious question right now that I just noticed. Nathan is still holding your books, right?
You have like 20 books you're holding.
I might get back to you on this one, and specifically these, and he holds like the first of the primordial books.
I used to teach. Let me know. And with that, he kind of wishes his hands, and the books come out of your hands, just like upwards, not like forcing them out of your hands, and line themselves up against the wall.
Just for the fun of it, Nathan switches over to Aquan Primordial. I'm fluent in the language, but I don't know much about the Earth counterparts, so I would like to be prepared for in a few days.
You mispronounce days. He looks. You got that
Holy
pronunciation
shit!
nearly perfect. You're certain, nearly perfect.
Was that
And-
a genuine annoyance on your part? Like, being, like, really annoyed on the fact that I got that wrong, or was it just mentioning it?
Insight check.
For fuck's sake.
There is. It's a
I
bit
don't
hard
know
to
if
read a guy
Cole's
with a
gonna
choice face.
survive the week.
You
Not
don't
gonna
know.
lie.
23 again.
Both. The answer is both.
Probably the best result.
He's both a teacher and a perfectionist.
Wonderful combination.
Now, off with you. As he kind of looks back at the room,
Hmm.
and the door that he originally opened is there, opens back up, and he walks into it, and the door closes behind him.
Was nice meeting you too.
Yeah, and he'll be back in like an hour if other people want to interact with him. But for the hour, he's predisposed. If only I had Paul's pronunciation.
So,
Your character cringes at your player's pronunciation.
with that being said, 3 days. What would you like to do for 3 days?
Oh, fuck, I want to annoy the shit out of you. I think I noted that at some point a while ago, like back when we first got the keep, that at least Nathan carved his name into the doorframe. I'm gonna do the same, but I'm going to spell you with a C. And the thing about this is, Nathan's a calligrapher. He has calligrapher's proficiency. He's going to make that the most eloquent C he can possibly manage. The first letter in the sentence is always the fancy one. So, like, fixing that would be a genuine tiny effort. So you have a really nice letter in your doorframe, but it's completely misspelled.
Bastard. That's funny. You come. When do you do this? What day do you do this?
Immediately after leaving. It's your room
Right.
now, so...
You know, the next time you walk by that door, the door frame is completely different. It's no longer the grungy barracks door. It's like this over the top, well maintained door frame. Looks like to a noble's house, like bedroom door. It's been completely mutated.
Has the name been changed?
Second. Wait. No.
Literally that kind of calligraphy.
That is exactly what I imagined the minute you mentioned.
That was exactly my mental reference image.
Which brings the question that Cole does have a few things. But I want to ask before I do anything. Is there anything you guys want from Cole, or just interactions in general you want to lay out? Because we kind of stole the scene for like an hour here.
Yeah. Nathan would get back to Brit about this guy in an attempt to still maintain the non-detection spell added, so within the next 8 hours. Summary on the wizard. Conjurist, yes. But kind of a weird guy. He specializes in power words. He says something and it happens.
Interesting.
It's
And,
very strong nitpick. Don't you dare mispronounce anything in his presence. What else to note? He's obsessed with demons. But in a way that's not in the cultist way, more of a he needs to learn about them for something, but without our help, he's definitely not going to be able to.
Interesting. Well, we're going to be fighting many of those, as well as the fact that our mentor is one. Just
True.
don't
I
outright
didn't mention that yet.
don't outright tell him that. Just if he
I
figures
won't.
it out, he figures it out.
One thing I need to note for later, he's being watched and I assume limited, controlled by what I assume to be, and I kind of look around for other scrying sensors. His sister.
Who's his sister?
Leo told me about it earlier. The family name carries a child of Mistra.
And those are the super powerful ones, right?
Yes. Directly gifted by Mistra. They don't need any permission. They have a free way to cast any spell they wish. So
There's an audible. There's a visual cringe, like a reeling back at that information. It's like, well, we definitely cannot tell them about what's down in death row.
I would definitely recommend shutting up about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he's incredibly pretentious. Quite impolite as well. But I think this is one of those necessary evils, given that he has at least partially taken up courses about elementals and the elemental planes and seems to speak primordial just as well.
They mention
having him along
anything else?
for anything else? Anything in particular?
Any other languages?
Yes. I'm pretty sure he speaks all of them. Or at least something that can be used as all of them. If you've listened to him
It'd be
before...
a good idea to get some basic words learned, since we are dealing with celestial, primordial, and demonic. Be nice if everybody knew what the hell everyone else was saying.
I assume he should be able to help with all of those.
We won't disturb him, let him get him settled in.
He mentioned that he can teach, so... if you get to the point of actually needing that, I think he could help. And if I can recommend something, Nathan, I know you can't see this because he straight up doesn't have them anymore, but he like does a gesture that with his old face would have clearly been rolling his eyes with an attached prayer. If you can make an effort out of it, try to at least show some of the divinity. He seems to look down on it.
Shouldn't be too hard. Also, just a bit off topic. How long did you know about Sergel and his quote unquote pawns?
It's been a while now. I got into the lucky situation that like a year, maybe a year and a half. I honestly can't remember when it was. I was the one who taught Sergel how to like really properly swim. So I just kind of help with that. And it's kind of hard hiding a tail in just a basic tunic that's supposed to be used for swimming.
That is true.
The jig was kind of up with that, but I've been the one he's been talking to about this since, and I think it's been good for him that he had at least somebody to talk about.
Yeah. Well. Well, I've had a nice, lovely chat. So don't be concerned if he stops wearing his hood, son. I
Oh.
hope he makes. I hope he makes the right decision. After what we talked about, not going to go into any more of it. Just know that we had a talk.
Understood. But overall, he's dealing. Does he have an idea of how to continue with this? That conversation with the elemental who absent-mindedly mentioned that seemed to shock him quite heavily.
There's just more the fact that he was a bit disappointed that somebody, some random person, was able to see right through it.
Reasonably enough. Well, if he seems fine with it to reveal it, I guess it's his choice. I've been doing my best not to say anything about it, and if he wants to be the one to break that secret, so be it. It's his choice.
No.
Same thing as before. Anyone have anything they want to do?
Yeah,
I will wait
anything you want to do for 3 days, because of that we can go to the good part of this mission. Well, actually,
For 3 days.
3 days.
This is basically what's happening in the first day, right?
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going. I was originally planning to do this with Leo, but now instead I'm going to annoy you, Cole, with this. Both to give Leo a break, and also, more importantly, to annoy you.
Target acquired. Government.
Target acquired, definitely so. The prank war between Cole and Nathan is going to be a fucking mess.
It all
It's
started
going
with
we're
to
talking
be
about-
incredible.
and it
You're
all
gonna get
started
her
with the
sister in
correction.
on- his sister in on it. Child of mischief.
This is how we start a war with the Platinum Seas, guys.
No,
Sorry, not sorry.
If we get his sister to be in on the joke, like if it's given the clear by his sister, then we should be good.
Yeah, very good point.
Anyways.
Anyways,
Yeah.
like I said, I would be annoying you about the matter. Given that we're heading to the elemental plane of Earth, tunneling and quarrying capabilities would be very much useful in case something goes wrong with the teleportation.
Arcana check, Cole.
With that, actually, question here: is this within the same day?
No. I would say a conversation held over breakfast if you attend breakfast. If not, I would be knocking on your door roughly at 7:45 in the morning.
45 in the morning. Yeah.
I know that because Nathan gets up at 7, latest.
You knock. You knock some more. Do you knock louder?
The door.
I'm quickly checking something. I don't have that spell, but I am very certain you do. I would knock quite heavily, which would, in this specific case, be counted as an unarmed strike, which deals 1d8 radiant damage because I'm divine infused.
You're gonna combust the fucking
It's,
door open.
it's a nice door, but as
down
soon
the
as you hit it with that amount of strength, you just like kind of you indent a hole into it. You know you could probably punch all the way through if you were intending to do that, but I'm assuming this is with the intention of knocking.
Yeah, it is.
This
This feels like a vine boom on the other side.
cool. The door opens, right? And you ever see like one of those, I don't know how to describe them, but they're like one of those like almost paper dividers.
Yeah.
That kind of segment the room, and there's like one in like towards the center that separates his bed from a bookshelf and from the rest of the room. But the door opens, and in front of you is a Cole. It's a magical servant. You've seen some of these. Some of them were in the library. And you just it just opens the door. And as it sees you, it closes the door. And then you hear some rumbling in the background. Maybe some magic. Question, are you trying to listen into any of this?
Sure.
You hear what sounds like magic go off at first. And then more magic. And then steps. Stop. More steps, and then the door opens, and he looks at you. He doesn't look terribly groggy. He was up before this, but it took him... This isn't a big room. It took him a while to get over here.
I have to assume extra planar spaces in your case, so I assume that you have like a whole fucking office set up somewhere in there. Somewhere to the left or to the right.
Sorry, I was sorting out fan mail. What's wrong?
Nathan halts for a second. Okay. Given that you didn't attend breakfast, I wanted to see whether you're actually up.
Right, there's just a lot. He kind of opens the door, and you see like 30 bags of holding, letters strewn about the room, kind of, some of them neatly set up, others kind of thrown to the side.
Still sorting by yourself?
To some extent. The servants are handy, but they're... no. Sorry, something is... But it's not like they can read. Not this type of reading, at least. Unfortunately, well, I should say fortunately, my penultimate piece of work was quite successful. 1 second.
I'm just seeing that mental image. I'm pretty sure your sister's servants can read. I'm not saying that out loud. It's a thought of Nathan's. If you have detect thoughts, that you would notice that.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. One of the spells, and you don't know this right off the bat, unless you got some psychic bullshit, which you hopefully
I just have true
don't
sight.
like it. Right. I have detect thoughts on. One of those spells that I casted before opening that door was detect thoughts.
In which case, you know the fact that I'm mentally thinking, I'm pretty sure his sister's servants can read.
And I'm gonna internalize that. Anyways, he looks at you. Sorry. What do you need?
Like I said, I was inviting you for breakfast. The omelets are still hot, so take some if you like.
Oh,
and
I
on the
don't
other
eat.
matter, you don't eat.
Much
Okay.
faster to transmutate nutrients straight to your stomach.
Right, your words, not taste.
I can imagine Brit's ears are burning now. Somebody doesn't want my food.
Yeah, I just have that image in my head. Oh, you better tell Brit that. You can hear that given that you listen in. For the actual reason as to why I'm here, you said yesterday you're willing to teach. Britt was actually interested in taking you up on that offer, specifically on language courses.
It is my specialty.
Given your specialty, and I'm going to check the door frame again. Focus, I would say. Which one was it again? Primordial and Infernal were of great demand. Most of us speak at least one of those languages, but
Oh,
there's
you
no
don't
full
want Infernal.
coverage.
You'll want Abyssal.
True.
Infernal's for tieflings and other sort. Abyssal is what's traditionally used.
This is such heavy nerd talk. Nathan, like Lecter, would love this. Nathan is just slightly obsessed with it in like a negative sense, but it's great. Of course. Full coverage again. And
Right.
on the other side, there was something I wanted to ask you specifically, given that you said you dealt in conjuring and also the elemental planes. In the context that we will be traveling, to the elemental plane of air, we're traveling to the elemental plane of Earth. We need to ensure some kind of safety in regards to tunneling and quarrying in case something goes wrong with teleportation.
Now I'm going to
Arcana
make
check,
it.
Cole.
Can
Yeah.
you
Arcana
provide
And-
that?
He kind of, yeah, and I am going to, because I have plenty of these. That
Oh,
is a
Jesus
40
fucking Christ.
Some of the runes just start glowing. Yep.
You know at least 7 fucking methods, depending on what variety. But the easiest way to think of it, almost like a no-brainer, is like a elemental mole. Essentially, you harness the elemental energies of the plane, manifest it into a preferred size of a mole, as moles are extremely well capable and well attuned in the elemental plane of Earth, to dig themselves out basically out of nowhere. If you have sufficient space to summon one, you can basically dig yourself out of anywhere. So
I can conjure them all.
Very nice. Given that you will be accompanying us directly, there's no need to teach this method to anyone else yet. If we return a variety in the form of a spell scroll, or actually teaching some of us the spell would be very handy. Most of us have since taken up a few alternative methods. Nathan kind of like holds up a jar of good berries.
Those aren't typical. It squints.
Neither are ascended balers. Like I said, welcome to a fort of paladins.
Is that all you wanted me to know?
Nathan knows the second he says one of the answers, the door is going to be shut in his face. How do I phrase this best? Should Britt come to your room for the educational, or will you be joining us outside?
He stops and thinks.
The fort itself is warded. You will not be attacked here.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Right. Sure, I'll join you shortly. Alright, if that's all I'm supposed to know.
Very well.
He thinks for a moment. Anything I'm not supposed to know?
About?
He stares at you. And you realize something in this moment. He gets detect thoughts on. You've messed with magics like this before. You heard him cast magic before he left the door. He just asked you a pointed, very leading question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it up to
Nathan's
you if you
only
think your character can house
Nathan's
it.
only reaction to this is the first impression was okay, the second wasn't great at all. But we're colleagues. Nothing more. We're colleagues, not friends, just colleagues.
He's kind of just staring at you somewhat blankly.
There are some words that have importance here. One of those is family. Most of us were raised together, trained together. So, you will notice later. We are mostly a tight-knit group. Staying as a
Family.
recluse won't get you far in the group.
Right. He thinks for a moment. As he kind of as he takes a step back and he kind of looks up into the air for a moment.
It's gonna be a few months until it snows around here, if you're thinking about that.
Oh,
Nothing.
And with that, he thinks for a moment. And going on to you can insight check this, but he's contemplating something seriously. And
Why not?
why not?
21.
Not your brightest moment, but despite the mask, you read a lot harder to read people. And looking at it, he's contemplating whether to tell you something. And he holds that kind of awkward contemplation for like 20 seconds.
Feel free to tell me. We're usually quite open about things around here.
Perhaps too open. But nonetheless, it might be inadequate to he looks for the right words carefully, picking them out. It might be right to forego any disingenuous. In fact, I consider it quite quintessential that we communicate clearly, so I shall be a bit more open with you. Understand my hesitance is well-founded. Moreover, I will explain why I am here, as Karlak has seemed to forsake that. I have not lied to you. I am here for study, for research. But unfortunately, I have come to a place where no one understands my field more than me, at least amongst the mortal mind. And so I must look beyond the mortal mind to get my answers. So,
And take a
henceforth,
god and pray to it, and seek your minds elsewhere.
How fictitious.
This is
How facetious.
something I can... This is not something I can help with directly.
No, you
But
can't.
I will note one thing. The thing is, a lot of people here are open to learn. Paladins are supposed to be protectors, and a protector must know what he's doing, what he's facing, what is going on, what could be a danger. So at least in regards to relevant topics, demonology, the fields of the elementals, the languages, the dimensions, and the cosmologies, feel free to educate us. We're willing to learn.
He thinks about what you said, and then comes back. Sometimes, no. Understandable, and yes.
I will
With
see
that
you
said,
later.
he kind of stops the door from closing if you're kind of closing it. I didn't
I'm not
finish.
closing it.
Like I said, what I need is something beyond the mortal mind. However, I didn't say divine. I work with Powerworks. They have many sister studies. Elemental ruins. And, well, 2 names. Followed by written abyssal text. Well, it's not abyssal. Demonic contract. Any 3 of these things have my utmost interest. And now you know my intent. And he closes the door. He'll be
Charming
out
as
in a
ever.
few.
Very well. Like I said, charming as ever. Nathan says that out loud and then just continues back down to the mess hall to continue his breakfast.
And it's about
Telling Brit, I said I gave you a study date with this guy. He's probably going to tell all of us a lot of stuff.
Okay. He's like, oh, now that was fast. Well, we can learn whatever we can in the short amount of time we have.
Also, that deal about going to Olash to find something like an elemental mole, I'm looking for Vorica somewhere in the room, has dissolved. This guy can't just do that.
Oh. Well, that makes it easier on us.
Like I said, still incredibly pretentious. But one thing I can respect about him, true words can, at least as far as I can tell, not lie. They can choose to not reveal information, but he cannot lie, and he doesn't. If he says something, he's honest about it.
That is very good to know.
At some point on the second day, I'd also seek out Cole.
It is not. You see the fancy door.
Uh-oh.
It is not hard to miss.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh, here we go.
Kicks the door open.
Yes, the haunts.
I'd knock fairly hard, but not forcefully. Just enough to catch attention.
Back hooves of a centaur. Give me a second.
Door goes flying Mach 10. Right, with that, what time are you knocking?
This would probably be like 11 a.m. noonish.
He answers rather quickly. Pardon me?
So I understand you're going to be joining us in the elemental plane coming up.
Quite correct.
I've seen far too many people not ready for this, so I just need to understand your capabilities. Let's go outside, try and block 2 of my attacks.
Oh, no.
If you can do that, I'll accept you as part of our group.
He raises an eyebrow.
The things we're up against, they're stronger than even myself. If you can't handle taking 2 swings from me, I'm not sure if you're going to survive.
He thinks for a moment. My survival is inconsequential, but he thinks for a moment.
You seem adept enough. Anything that you can do to try and stop me from hitting you is on the table.
Another eyebrow raise. There is. You can see gears turn in his head as like you give that statement, and thinks for a moment. Right. Interesting proposal.
Do you still have your detect thoughts on, or is that That's probably
Yeah.
all I know, isn't it? Okay.
It's he can cast it as a cantrip with no vocal components. It's on when he wants it to be. So if you have something going on in your head beside the point that you want to make clear, then it's there.
You see definite thoughts of Nathan holding a nearly dead cat girl.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Any methods to prove that I can survive?
Whatever it takes, I don't want to see more people lost.
All right. I'll see you in 10 minutes up above. Miles. Oh, I believe there's a training room just across.
Yeah, I'll meet you in the training room.
All right. Closes the door. So. All right. Oh, I need to check one thing real quick. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest, and Araxis knows this. We weren't prepared for combat this session, but I can make this work. Don't worry about it. I got this.
You got a fucking decimated. Holy shit. Oh.
If you can't take a hit, you're not supposed to stay here.
Right. No, that's completely
No,
fair.
I'm talking about Chadwick. He's gonna get shot. Jesus, no. Ooh.
And,
I want to see that now.
Gonna look Chadwick and Kosik. What you two up to?
No, Cole isn't out yet. He's not quite there yet.
Oh, I'm Chadwick then.
Yeah, Chadwick's preparing for battle, yeah.
Huh. Little training you're doing, Chadwick?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm trying to get a feel for this new guy. Yeah.
Wait, are you training with him? Or are you...
Yeah,
She's
he
confused.
he seems kind of meek. I want to make sure that he can actually handle what's about to happen. And I'll kind of shoulder roll, pick up a wooden halberd so I don't kill him.
I see. Well, in that case, I'm going to stay and watch if it's all right with you.
Yeah,
and
we-
Sorry, go on.
We might need some healing. I'll try not to hurt him.
And with that, he does walk out of his room. Yeah, and he lines himself up on the other side of the battle arena. Well,
You ready for this?
do we want to roll initiative?
Yes, you will.
All right.
Right.
Can I be nearby?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Nathan,
Chadwick, you get a bonus of 5 to your initiative.
Okay,
If you have some kind of availability to read divine auras,
We'll see.
if you can read divine auras somehow, you will notice that there is a slight, like a very tiny shadow.
No.
Tiny tinge.
Okay, let me cue up some music.
Like
Hold
this
up.
aura to him.
Give me a second. Oh god.
Sergal, just for information, after the talk with Britt, Sergal's been like writing something, and he manages to find time from writing to.
Let me just skip
Everyone
this.
watch
There you go.
This
Okay.
is gonna be interesting.
There you go. Oh god. It's gonna be horrible. So, I guess Chadwick, you begin your initiative. Would you like to?
All right, little buddy. Let's see how you do. I'll go charging at him. First attack.
Yeah, that hits. I'd say that hits, honestly.
Wait, can you use shield?
Lands without a problem. What's your damage?
I have a wooden halberd, and I'm definitely doing non-lethal. So I'm just gonna like butt you with it. So let's just say 8 damage.
What do you mean damage? Fucking full swing. This is
Chadwick,
combat.
go all in.
This is
all in.
combat.
Smite and everything,
Chadwick,
please. Go all in.
It's
up-
a wooden weapon, so it's probably improvised. So 1d4 there.
Oh no, is he improvised? I thought he's.
I mean,
No, he's using
Well, I
one
would
hull,
use
but
one
don't
d4
have a full
so
weapon.
go.
pretend
But
weapon.
non-lethal
Damn it,
damage.
Chadwick, come
Go
on.
ahead, for fuck's sake.
PvP.
Hit him hard.
Yeah, full.
All right.
You get,
GP!
It's up to
you
you
get
if
a
you want
double
to
hard,
fight him,
don't
though.
you?
Do you want to?
All right, here we go.
On today's episode of Let's See.
He's no
how
longer
many multiple
Farron.
kills-
He is a new blood. We gotta haze
you
him.
gotta-
Gotta give that haze.
Which multiplier of Cull's HP do you think Chadwick is gonna hit in damage numbers? Place your bets now.
yeah, by the way,
I'm gonna say
I have
twice
to say this.
twice HP.
Nate, I have to say this. You notice something's very off about Cole right now. Your true seeing is revealing something to you that isn't quite as it should be.
There's definitely something wrong with this fight, and Nathan so far just like grins and bears it.
All right.
But there's going to
So-
be an awkward conversation later.
So wooden weapon, so it's not my usual damage, but I'm still gonna dump my smite and all that into it. So 62.
Yep, you absolutely batter him. You see blood, and you see blood as you strike into him. Where do you hit him?
I'm gonna go for the right shoulder.
Yeah, you hear the crack and shatter of a right shoulder. And
All right.
he looks, he looks, there is pain in his eyes, but it's weirdly detached. As he looks up. This probably won't work, but it might be funny.
I still have 3 more attacks.
Oh, right, you have 3 attacks? I thought you had 2, Paladin Madman. Right,
Nice.
yeah, just go for it. You can.
I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Oh, that misses, because
Oh.
that one.
Does he suffer net ones?
Oh, he does.
I don't suffer
Does that-
from that one.
Right, the extra mythic.
Yep.
That's the second level mythic feat, right? The
Yep.
No.
That's the mythic 2 feat.
the
Oh
second.
yeah,
second
right,
level.
right.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right here, I don't think you can roll low enough as you cut straight through him. And snow. Water. And you hear clapping.
Oh,
Quite
I'll
efficient.
go for my.
But that's 2 attacks. And I'm still alive.
I'll kind of like look around. What?
As you realize,
How's the
to
damage
reiterate
going,
for
buddy?
Rixus, as he cuts down into the snow and water, that you, Nathan, what you suspected becomes true. That was not Cole, that was an illusion, and if anyone knows what a simulacrum was, that was it. As Cole walks out of his room, just clapping. Quite effective. But that's 2 hits. I've passed your test.
That was a pretty cheap trick, but I'll give it to you. And
If
you'll
you
see a
needed-
smirk on the corner.
It kind of there is you can't tell if this is smirk exactly because his face is covered, but you could probably guess there's one under there. If you needed more brutish force, then you just get another paladin. I'm not in the business of permanently damaging my comrades.
I wasn't looking to see if you were strong enough. I wanted to see if you could survive with us. Looks like you can.
Like I said, my death is inconsequential.
You don't seem to
Let's hope
understand
it
how
stays that way.
paladins work.
Kind of, he raises an eyebrow, he looks over, and this is the first time he's seen you talk, Circle. Pardon?
Death always has consequences.
Only if it's mine. Right. With that said, I hope you are all satisfied with the spectacle.
I mean, you survived.
I never
I'll give it to him.
Never doubted that you were more than capable. Just some other people, some of us just need a bit more convincing, is all.
As you say that, by the way, Britt, detect thoughts is over you.
Oh yeah, no, she's being completely truthful about it.
Yeah, he's glancing.
Some nice tricks will be useful.
Yeah, he glances at tech thoughts across the room. If anyone has any less
Yeah, you also have
honest,
the whole shake.
polite
Man.
takes.
It's like, oh,
Nathan
good. I didn't
has
have to
one
use my
less
massive.
polite take. There's one other thing that's sadly true about most of the world. And that's basically Nathan's fault. Because, as you might remember, he's 6 seconds ahead.
Yep, he saw that happening ahead of time.
Do me a favor. Roll a constitution saving throw.
Ooh, what are you doing?
You'll have to find out.
I have to find out on next time. Let's see.
On Dragon Ball Z, where we'll spend an entire 2 hours.
That's a 27 on that saving throw.
Half damage, very nice.
It's got a spell.
It is.
I'm going to cast a spell in response to that.
I'm going to cast counter spell on that.
That's a true bastard. But
14 points of radiant damage, and any illusion that you currently hold about yourself is being dispelled. At least temporarily while you bask in divine light of the moon.
Nice. There are no illusions on it.
Nathan, even though Nathan has no eyes, he stares at you across the room. Two things. If you fight dirty, expect that the enemy does as well. And second, what I said earlier, never expect a paladin to fight alone. I told you we are a family, so we fight as one.
There's Singe. Do you hold the moon up, by the way?
No, Nathan drops it after that one singe.
Alright. And... Okay. There's a moment I need to process something, how you would respond to that. Like I said, my death is inconsequential. I will be there to support you. But if you intend to make theatrics to prove a point, there are more efficient ways. And he kind of looks at the rest of the group, sizing them up one by one.
If you're still detecting thoughts, Sergal is staring daggers at Cole, just thinking about the silhouette of a satyr burning.
I don't know you, any of you. But understand this. While I have come to help for mutual interest, I wish to get along.
So
But
do we.
I am of a different people, of different ways, of different thought, and I will try to bridge the gap. But blasting your frustrations out on me will not yield significant results. I don't know what bull-headed tactics you use to negotiate, but I assure you, those will yield literal results in the long scheme of things. If you have a problem,
Ah. Cool. One word that was wrong in your sentence there. Negotiate. We are no diplomats. We're paladins. We have a task. We get sent to it, and we deal with it.
he thinks about that for like 2-3 seconds before glancing over. Here's what you say, glancing over. And then he glances over at Britt. Glances back at the group as a whole.
We at least give him, well,
I think
Oh,
I've
me-
misjudged you. And he nods. Regardless, lessons are still up later today. I expect those who have an interest to be there. Do not waste my time. And he starts walking back to his room.
I could not expect a better combination of an actual Platinum Seas member and you all. Oh,
Staring daggers at him. There's.
I ain't doing that. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm only there. Basically, if you read my lines, like, at that point, she's caught on. It's like, don't look at me. I'm here just stop them if they go too far.
There's. Yeah. He goes back to his room. Then that's about it. He'll be back out when lessons are come. If you want to do something before then, talk behind his back, etc.
here's my thing.
All right.
It's been 3 hours. Right? It's almost 2:30 a.m. for me. I think we're gonna call it now. And
I'm gonna
then-
say one more thing. It's
Sure.
like, I'm gonna turn to everybody. It's like, all right, the hazing is over. I expect you all to try and make nice with him.
My point has been made. He's a valuable asset, so I would like to get along with him.
Indeed. Chadwick, I hope I hope he's proven himself to you.
I mean, I think he can make it at least one adventure with us.
Don't worry, I think he actually has a soul unlike the rest of us. I think we can save him if he falls.
We'll see.
Platinum Seas member with the soul. That's a generous statement.
Like an
That
actual-
is
What's
the
making it just
most
now as well.
ironic but true fucking statement. The least soulless individual with a physical soul. Anyway, with that being said, and then, anything you want to say before I'm shutting stream down with no survivors?
Smite.
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 Smite. Smite.
Smite.
Smite.
Smite.
Smite.
Smite.
Smite.
Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite. Smite.